didn't go to that trip might have been the best thing that ever happened to me.
Going back a little bit to the topic today, on entrepreneurship, I think it does take, for anybody, a lot of courage to create that space for yourself that perhaps wasn't there, or even inventing that space for yourself. So in that vein, what does that mean for you? And I think we've already talked a little bit about it, but if you could kind of give examples of what that means, or what that could mean for folks sitting here.
Yeah, absolutely. So giving yourself some space to create, I think a common theme down the line here has just been that women empathize in a really interesting way that makes them phenomenal entrepreneurs. And we see problems, we go solve problems, right? You don't end up being the internet girl because you sat back and waited for someone else to solve your problem. Goldy didn't get to the place where she is because she said, you know, I'm gonna wait my turn. I think that a lot of the strong women and the strong female entrepreneurs I see in tech and government, et cetera, are the people who see problems and go solve them, and really are feeling the pain and can get out of themselves sometimes, and even if they have a little bit of the imposter syndrome, jump in 2 feet and say, I'm the best person to solve this. Because I'm really smart and I can figure it out. Am I the person who everyone would immediately think of? Maybe not, but that's okay, and I'm gonna do it a little bit different way.
Don't you think that's a new muscle for women, though?
So it's a little bit difficult for me to say that because I am standing on the shoulders of women who've done it for years and years and years. I'm like that old weird millennial that like doesn't fit in with the millennials and like and then when like baby boomers are like those millennials and you're like, but I'm kind of one of them. Did you know that? Well, I am. And so I'm here like standing on the shoulders of women who have like done it well for years, and I think probably down the line we would hear that have had those mentors and have had those people who have risen us up and asked us what our opinions were. In a way that maybe females didn't do for them. So I am kind of the benefactor of all of these other women who have done it, and I've been able to look up to and really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'm humbled to be up here because I'm sure many of you are in the audience.
Well, I think that was really well put, Meg. I think that one of the things that you said that kind of triggered this is, I think it's important to, number one, seek out people to bounce ideas off of. That's whether you want to call them mentors or not. I had several people in my inner circle who had diverse experiences that I would bounce ideas off of. So I think that it's really important to have sounding boards and different perspectives if you want to start doing something. Another thing is I think you need to really believe in yourself and believe in what you want to do, like passionately, and have that confidence. And I think that drives everything. And I think that my big thing is I was always entrepreneurial. I had a lot of ideas, but what I learned when I started my business is all you have to do if you want to start something is take a step, and then take another step, and take another step. It's really not that complex. It was an aha moment for me where I was like, I always had all these great ideas. This one I actually started to take steps, and when I started to take one step forward and the next step forward, everything came together and it gelled. And so I think that, you know, first and foremost, you really have to believe in yourself. Like I said, when I started my company, there were 2 800-pound gorillas in this space. They had been around for decades, and they had print publications, they had resources, they had millions of dollars in the bank, they had 50 plus employees each, and I was like a 32-year-old girl in my condo wanting to go up against these guys. and it was pretty audacious, right? But I believed in myself, and I believed in that gap. There was a gap, and I'd go to these events in DC, and they would be so boring. I mean, just torture, you know? And everybody would be looking at their phones. Everybody would be looking at their phones, and I'm like, it's not just me who hates this, you know? And it almost felt like because of an event is in DC, things were super stuffy, and things were really boring, and there was just no spark. There was no excitement, and I felt like if people wanted to convene the Fed IT community in a way they look down on them like they're Dilbert, and everything has to be like gray, drab, in a basement. It must be in a basement, bad food, and there has to be something red, white, and blue on the stage. You know, and I was like, no, we're gonna redefine what this is. We're going to reset expectations of what people expect, and we're going to bring innovation and a fresh approach to bringing this community together. And we say something in the office, which is a joke, but we say it often. We're like, feds are people too. You know? It's like, they like to network with the right people. They like to have the right conversations. They like good food. They like good music. Dude, they like cupcakes. You know, so we you know, flip the script on how people consume news and how people experience events and so forth. And it was amazing how, and also like when people do intros in DC, you know, they read off a person's bio for like 30 minutes. And I was like, no, like this is terrible. Like you've lost me in the first paragraph, I'm done, you know? And so, you know, when I first started to convene the community together, I, you know, kind of followed the script. I was like, well, DC's a serious town. I'm from Seattle originally. DC's a serious town. I have to be serious. And it made me so uncomfortable because that's just not who I am. You know, I am a vibrant, energetic, upbeat individual, and I didn't want to dumb myself down or dilute myself because I believed in myself and I believed in what we were doing. So I flipped the script after like the first 2 events. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do me. And that's kind of going in that vein of believing in yourself and what you're doing, because when I did me, everybody in the room was smiling, like you guys are right now. Everybody was smiling. Everybody had a smile on their face. Everyone was having a good time, because I was having a good time. So I think that it's really important to truly believe in what you're doing and believe in yourself and have that confidence. And if you have an idea, start taking a step, and then take another step. And another step, and you'll see how things will just start gelling for you. And I really believe in the power of just action sometimes. So.
I'm going to have to build off of that and the hard end to follow that. But you know, for me, my journey has been very similar, right? It's like, hey, if you want to solve a problem, then go be the person solving it. Don't sit in your space and complain and bitch and moan, and you know, actually have something in my office that says no whining. I also have a jar that one of my employees gave me yesterday. It says ashes of problem employees. But for me, the entrepreneurial journey was really like, okay, you know, try the big company thing, you know, this mid-tier, all of this stuff. Just want to do good work, right? But then when it started becoming more than just me and the opportunities came, and you have to act on them, right? You can't just sit over there. And I've seen a lot of people who've just gone 1099 all their career, and they still do good work, and you know, whatever. And somebody said something to me, you're running your own race, right? It's okay. You pick what's right for you. Not everybody has to run somebody else's race. But for me, when that came up, and I remember sitting in a conference room with my first set of like 12 employees out of the whole company we could fit into one room, it was like, guys, we have a chance to do something here. What do we want to be? And we came up with our set of core values, and over the last 10 years, our capabilities have changed, the size of the company's changed, the customers have changed, but our core values haven't. And really being able to live those core values on a daily basis and enable those as a leader in the organization, it's a huge sense of responsibility, but it's like raising a child. It's literally like, you know, the days you're just like why can't you just behave? And there are days like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I would have never wanted to do anything different. So, but I will tell you, for me also, it's been about getting those mentors and really talking to a ton of people. When I started, I had time on my hands and I love to eat, and I would just call people, and I would be calling a lot of these people saying, hey, I want to hear your story. What do you think you did right? What do you think you would have done differently? And from every one of those conversations, I learned something. And that helped me leapfrog a lot of mistakes that I could have made.
So they asked Thomas Edison, how does it feel to have failed 10,000 times when you were inventing the light bulb? He said, no, those were 10,000 steps in the invention of the light bulb. That's like a career, right? You go through processes that you don't know that you have to go through to get to where you have to get to. So take that risk. It's going to make a difference for you, for your community, for your group, for your family. You don't even know where it's going to take you, but take that risk. It's worth it.
I think that's a good lead-in to my next question is, like, we've all had these big challenges in our careers, but it's how do you overcome them? So what was a big challenge that you've had, and how have you overcome it, and how can we all learn from that?
So one thing from the last panel that really resonated with me was that you are now the neck to choke, right? And I think that has been a huge mind shift change coming up. So I worked in tech startups. I worked in the government. Went to business school. Came out of business school. Was like, I know some things, but I know I don't know a lot of things. But being the switch from I'm doing this and it's me and one other person and we're running hard at it, great, to now I have 14 employees and their livelihoods are based on the decisions we're making. And so I think that that's been a big challenge, and I don't know if you've seen this too, but going from like, I'm really good at the work, like that's why I'm here, I did the work really, really well. And then now it's like managing the people doing the work. And now it's not even managing the people doing the work, it's managing the managers who are managing the people doing the work. So I think that shift, and that shift from this is a family to this is, it was always a business, but that shift from it's like more of a family, I know when you go to the doctor and I know about your weird rash, to like, well, maybe you shouldn't tell me about that thing you did this weekend, because I am also your HR department. has been a huge shift for me, even in the empathy. So like walking that line of, this is still a core team, and we're still at the 15 people, like can still barely fit in one conference room. But having really big high hopes and high dreams and high goals that we believe in ourselves, we're gonna hit them. But making that shift has been really challenging, and I guess you wanted a story where like I come out successful in the end, like fingers crossed. I believe in myself. You told me to. It's gonna be great. But there are always challenges, and it's looking towards other women who have done it and being an inspiration. And I do want to care. I never want to stop caring, and I never want to stop having that relationship with my employees that are like the family. And I know FedScoop and Scoop News Group is similar in that.
Very much a family.
Yeah, and I want to keep that, and I want to be really intentional about growing culture. So those are all of the challenges that I'm facing today. Maybe I haven't jumped over yet, but those are the ones that are on top of mind. Would love to hear how I do that.
You're doing amazing. So I think that it's funny because I knew that this question was coming. We got a little glance at what some of our questions might be, and I actually thought about it a little bit, like what are my challenges? And I kept thinking, a gazillion different challenges, like I said, every single day. But if someone were to ask me any day, how's your day going? Any day. My answer is great. And sometimes someone will say to me, Goldy, is it really always great? You know? And I'm like, actually it is. And they're like, what was great about today? I said, well, 5 things went horribly wrong today, but like 15 things went really well. So it depends on what I'm gonna focus on and what I'm gonna put my energy in. And for me, it's always the 15 things that went well. I'm not gonna dwell. I was like today, my favorite employee said she's moving to Chicago. You know, like such and such thing happened. You know, and it's like, there's always things that aren't going to be perfect. And I think the first thing that I learned as far as a challenge is I'm a perfectionist that on occasion could put Steve Jobs to shame. And so, like, super obsessive with perfection. And one of the things I learned was it's okay if things aren't always flawlessly perfect. No one's gonna know except for me. And that was something that I had to overcome because it really bothered me a lot when things weren't flawlessly perfect. But I realized everyone else thought they were great. I mean, really much better than anything they'd ever seen. You know, so it's like, why am I obsessing over it being this way or that way? I need to learn how to let go of being obsessed with perfection. So I think that that was a challenge that I had to overcome, and I'm still working on that. You know, I still have my days, but it's definitely something that I think I had to work on. But I think, people ask on these types of panels, like, how'd you overcome, being the only woman in the room sometimes, and, as a leader. And I have to say, when I look at my 20+ year career, I don't, if someone were to say, like, where were times where you were passed over, or like you felt like you were left out or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know, because I always spoke up, I always showed up, and I always was really confident, and I didn't let someone take my shine. I didn't allow it to ever happen that I can recall, in all sincerity. And now if I really were to honestly look back, there were a couple times where there were things that had happened that I didn't think were maybe fair, but I never dwelled on them. And that's kind of that whole, how's your day going, it's great. I never sat around and was like, oh, I should have gotten that promotion, but this dude got it instead. I never ever felt that in the moment. I was always like, what am I trying to do? Okay, this is a hurdle. How am I gonna get there? Mm-hmm. And that was totally my attitude with everything in my career. I never thought there was sexism, even though I've been in the tech industry for 20 years. I was often only the female in meetings and so forth. I never felt like I always felt like being a woman was a huge advantage in those meetings. I never felt like it was a disadvantage. I always felt like, oh, I'm catching all kinds of things that nobody else is catching in this moment, I'm picking up on things and nuances and little looks and little things that no one is catching.
Right.
So it gave me an edge, and I think that that's how, I think my advice to overcoming challenges is also to just look at them as little hurdles that you just jump over, and don't dwell on them too much, and don't take things so seriously. When I talk about being a perfectionist, I'll tell you, I had to finally say to myself sometimes, we're not saving lives. It's literally, I was like, if something isn't perfect, like if this thing in this corner isn't like flawless, like no one's gonna die. Like nothing's gonna happen. I'm not saving a life today. So it's really important to put things in perspective, to not take things too seriously, and to focus on the things that are going well. And if you have a little hiccup or something, to not make it a big thing, just find a way around it.
We actually hire a lot of military and athletes, and there's a lot of people who would fall in this category. You can say athlete, doesn't have to be sports, but they're resilient, right? They're super competitive, and when you knock them down, they've failed before, they failed a lot of times, and they're really resilient in how they get back up. And so that's like a good profile. We call it the resilient hustler.
Oh, I like
that's
it.
Like our
I like it.
So, I thought about the answer too, and I think the biggest obstacle for me, and I but I wondered if I should say it out loud, is really myself. It's and this is a market where you're supposed to be strong, everything is perfect, life is great, you're doing all the right things. But I thought about it and I said, if it helps even one person in this room today to know that it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to have insecurities, and it's okay to know that there are other people who feel that way, and you can do it. I felt like it was okay to share that today. It's like, oh my God, can I make it? Can I do it? Like, everything's going great over here. I'm a director at Oracle. I could be like VP in 2 years. Like, should I leave all of this and go start this thing? Like, I work for Deloitte. Like, should I give up Deloitte and go work for this company? I have to look up on the map. There's like Portland, Oregon, or Maine. Where is this place? I mean, it's all the chances that I took that really put me on my path of getting here. And I mean, I echo everything. I was sitting over here being like, oh my God, that could be me. That could be my story. Because I think the challenges that came and the promotion that I was passed up for put me on a different path. And if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have gotten that little push to but I didn't sit over there and get bitter and be annoyed, and I did something about it. And I think that's really what I look at, and it's that being able to believe that there's something better out there, but work at it, talk to a lot of people, take the good advice you're getting, but make it your own. You're living your own way, so just and I really think that there's a lot of great supportive people, even in a very, very hyper-competitive market, and they've helped me so much in just sharing their experiences, and I've learned a lot from them.
Along the lines of what Kavita was saying, I think the greatest challenge is the juggling act. It's about yourself. I would say, negotiate your salary until the bitter end. Think about yourself and how you're going to strengthen yourself, and you're going to train, how you're going to learn, how you're going to feed yourself, how you're going to become this confident Goldy that never backs down, right? So we're always giving, and we're always worrying about our team, our people, our family. We're always this generous person, but to do that, we have to strengthen ourselves. We sometimes leave that for the end when we're tired and we can't do it anymore. So my message would be, why don't you place that first some days and do that first and say, okay, where am I here? How am I going to get stronger, and what am I doing to get better or to learn things that I need to learn, and then move on with the rest of what you have to do.
I want to congratulate all of you for taking a little time of your day to feed yourselves, because I thought this dialogue was amazing, about really thinking positively, getting out of that box, really taking one step at a time. So with that, I want to thank all the speakers for coming today. I think I could spend,
Karina.
I could spend another hour talking to
Bringing
each
us
of you.
together.
Yes, thank you. And with that, actually, we have an expert on LinkedIn downstairs. So if you want to talk, Jake Paris.
He's right after the record.
He's right there. So as you're developing your network, whether in here, networking, we'll have some time to network, or you want to develop your LinkedIn profile, we do have an expert here. I would say, like, when we were talking about challenges, what resonated with me is, I used to do a lot of public speaking on the future work, the Me 2.0, whether corporate America was really going to divest of employees in a future state, and that does future work mean that I will be my own, Karina.com, and I'm going to have to find all these different jobs. So I was in a personal crisis, and I said, wait a minute, I am not going to rely on the corporate ladder. I'm going to build my own network, which I have. Now I have 24,000 people on LinkedIn that I use every day. And I love community, building these intersections. That was really just a personal preference of getting out there and having access to these stories. So anyway, that was my own kind of, I do believe in either your personal network, whether it's these kind of events, or even building it on a LinkedIn and developing those intersections with people, not just in your organization, but throughout your community, because those are invaluable as you develop. So thank you so much for coming today. It's meant a lot to me personally and to Microsoft All Up, and thank you for Tina and Meek did a lot of work, and Jennifer Rudy, and everyone from LinkedIn as well. All the speakers, this has been fabulous. So again, I always ask for volunteers for any of these, so if you have great ideas on programming or what we should be doing, really the whole objective we had today was that we can come together and have a chat and network. So thank you so much.